Sometimes you need a little inspiration. Sometimes you need a little motivation. Sometimes you need a little kick in the butt, right? Sometimes we just need a little bit of those things to say, hey, I know you're tired. I know, right? Life can wear you down, but we got to keep getting after it. We got to keep getting after that life that we said that we want. We got to keep making that impact that we said that we wanted to make. No one said this road was going to be easy, y'all. It's just going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it when you look in the mirror and you see the man or woman that you and God designed and said, hey, I'm proud of this. I'm proud of what I've gone through. I'm proud of going through the adversities and sticking to it. I'm proud of not quitting. I'm proud of what I've contributed to my family, to my legacy, to my community. I'm proud of the person I've become. That's what you're after. That's what you make a should, right? We talk about your shoulds versus your musts. But those are the things that should keep you going. It's that never-ending quest to get to the highest, grandest expression of yourself, the man or woman God called you to be. If you think that you are everything that God has already called you to be, then you've won your race. You're done. But I have a feeling you just being on these calls and me getting to know many of you, you know that there's more in the tank. There's more you want to give. There's more you want to see. There's more fulfillment. There's more joy, more happiness, more peace, more contentment. There's more of all the things you're looking for. You know that. Now we just have to remind ourselves on a daily basis to go get it. Couple notes I wrote down from that video. What have you failed at recently? You heard somebody in there say if you're not failing, you're not trying. If you're not failing, you're not trying. Failure is just a part of the process to getting to success. Some people don't even label it failure. It's just trying. It's just learning and becoming. You find out a different way that something doesn't work. It's not failing, you're learning. But when have you failed at something recently? When have you done something that you tried and it didn't work out? Do you have a lot of those stories? If you have very few, it might mean you're not giving this life 100%. You're not trying. You're not pushing yourself out of your comfort zone as much as I challenge you to. You're not having the uncomfortable conversation. You're not doing the thing that scares you. You're not doing the thing that doesn't sit well in your stomach, even though you know it's right. Those are the challenges. Those are the things you have to fail at in order to get to the other side, to getting good at something. Commitment. I wrote down commitment. How committed are you to your goals and dreams? How committed are you to going all in, to burning the boats? That's what Tony Robbins said. You got to burn. In order to take the island, you got to burn the boats. I don't know if any of you have heard that analogy or heard that story before, but right there's a story that says if these pirates come, they want to take over this island. They get to the island, and as soon as they step foot on the island, they burn their ships. They burn their boats, which is basically saying, we're not leaving. We're either going to die here or we're going to take this thing over, but we're not leaving. And when you have that commitment and that confidence in your own life of burning the boats, you see, again, opposite how we think. When we change our thinking, we change our life. So, the message we hear a lot is have a backup option, have a backup plan, have something to fall back on. That is a form of having your boats at the dock when you're trying to take over the island. This is why most people don't take over the island. It's how they think, albeit very innocent from our parents and our loved ones that wanted to keep us safe, to say, hey, make sure you have a fallback plan. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. That mindset that came in, albeit from a good place, from a good heart, now doesn't help us get to the life that we want because we don't know how to burn the boats. We don't know how to go all in. We always got to have a backup plan. We actually believe our belief system is that that's right. If we change our thinking, though, we can change our life. So where's your commitment level? How much are you burning your boats, right? You don't have to teach your mind how to be negative. You have to obviously teach it the other way. I told some kids this when I was talking to them financially. I said, hey, the things we have to learn about money, we have to learn how to earn it, learn how to save it, learn how to invest it, learn how to give it away. And I was like, do you know the thing you don't have to learn with money? You don't have to learn how to spend it. You don't have to learn that. Like that's nature, right? We live in a consumer society. So like you'll learn, a child will understand how to spend money very quickly. It's kind of like how your mind works. Your mind can go to negativity very quickly. It can go to discouragement very quickly. It can understand the bad things, the negative stuff. It can. That's why we have to fix our focus on good things. Like we have to retrain our brain on how to look at things that are the opposite of what the world tries to give us. We have to be able to actively change how we think, how we look at things, so that the things that we look at changes. Got to have some belief in you, though. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, this journey of you getting to the life that you want, the life you don't need a break from, impacting your family in all the ways, you have to have a belief in you. I forget who said it in the video, but we have a lot of people. I know some of you, I know people in my life that show up for everyone else. They show up for everybody. They clap for everybody. They're the people that go out and say, "Yeah, I champion you and right, I encourage you and I support you." But do you do that for yourself? Do you show up for yourself? Do you applaud for yourself? Do you bake yourself the cake? Right? Do you take care of you? Do you have belief in you? That's a big question. And again, the way we get more belief in ourselves, changing the way we think about even ourselves, speaking well of ourselves, giving yourself affirmation, actually doing what you say you're going to do. Start with small things, keeping small promises to yourself, saying you're going to wake up at a certain time and you do, saying you're going to make your bed and you do. Small promises that lead to bigger results in how we feel. But you got to have that belief in yourself. Those are some of the things that I took away. Last thing I wrote down was shoulds versus your musts. We don't get our shoulds. I know we know what we should do. You know what you should do, but you don't get those. You're not serious about what you should do. We're serious when we must do it, when you must do it. And this is why it's important to know exactly where you're going, because when your shoulds turn into your musts, that's when you can start to get to that next level in life. But something to understand, the obstacles that you have, the things that you go through, are the things that allow you to take your consciousness to another level and overcome those things. Remember Albert Einstein's quote, a problem can't be solved at the same level of consciousness it was created. Okay? A problem can't be solved at the same level of consciousness it was created. So if there is an issue in your life, major issue, minor issue, whatever the issue is, whatever the challenge is, whatever the things are that you're trying to overcome, if you've placed this in your life, if it's happened in your life, the reason why we can't get through it is because we're in the same thinking, we're in the same level of consciousness. So you have to get to a higher level of consciousness in order to overcome that issue. I was just having this conversation with a good financial client that we have that I've been working with for probably 4, 5, maybe 6 years now. It's been some time. And I've watched her grow financially. I've watched her go from being stressed about money, not having it, worrying about taking care of her kids, single mom, all the stuff, to actually having more than she knows what to do with. But now that she has more than she knows what to do with, she actually doesn't know what to do, right? Her level of consciousness got her to this place. Now she has another problem. She has a taxes problem. She has a growth problem, right? She has some issues, but her level of consciousness that got her to this area that she has a problem can't take her to the next level. It can't take her there. And I share that with her. I was like, hey, what got you here won't get you there. We need a new level of consciousness. We need a new way to think about it. This is what happens in our lives for all of us that go after the life we don't need a break from. You get to a point where you can't solve your issue anymore. You've gotten yourself there. You can't solve it. So now we have to get to a higher level of consciousness. The way we do that, you got to keep going through the obstacles. I know it's the painful part. It's the challenging part. We don't want to go through the obstacles, but that's what gets you to a higher level of consciousness. When you start dealing with more and more problems more frequently, and you, instead of backing down, instead of falling down and not getting back up, we just go through the obstacles. And before you know it, it builds the character, the consciousness you need in order to overcome them consistently. Here's what it says in the text. It says, while the masses see obstacles as their primary adversary, champions view them as opportunities to expand their level of thinking and competence. Professional performers know the only way they can truly become mentally tough enough to manifest their vision is to struggle and fight their way through obstacles. There's no other way. The great ones are conscious of the fact that success is trial by fire. The middle class consciousness avoids obstacles at all costs and looks for the easy way out. The world class builds their own roads and forges ahead, knowing the strength of character gained from overcoming obstacle after obstacle will be their measure of their true success. And with that rock solid character, even greater things can be accomplished. If you remove the obstacles, you remove the opportunity to grow. Let me say that one more time. If you remove the obstacles, you remove the opportunity to grow. The world class becomes great by overcoming more obstacles than the middle class. They get tough because they're in the game, getting hit and taking shots. Professional performers are good at overcoming obstacles because they're always engaged in the process. Amateurs spend so little time staring down the dragon that they simply never get tough enough to become pros. The fear of failure looms deep in the psyche of the masses. The great ones are sometimes fearful, yet develop more courage with each new obstacle until they stand up one day as true mental warriors. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the obstacles that gives you the capacity to build the life that you're asking for. If you're asking for a life that's up ahead, a life that you've not seen, a life of financial freedom, time freedom, right? Great relationships, health, having life exactly where you want it, fulfillment, opportunity, all the things, right? If that's the life you're asking for, it comes through you overcoming more and more obstacles, more and more challenges. I know you've been through a lot of them, right? We've been through a lot of them already. You're like, man, there's going to be more obstacles. Absolutely. If you want to keep climbing this mountain, if you want to keep getting to the life you don't need a break from, if you want to keep striving and getting to a place where you have life exactly where you want it, if you want to see some of these areas change, your level of ambition doesn't have to be mine, doesn't have to be the next person's. But I have a feeling that you're on these calls because there's more that you know is out there for you. There's more. You haven't hit your fulfillment. You haven't hit your destiny. Like you're not there. You know there's more. So now we have to pay attention to things like, man, don't wish it were easier. Just wish you were better. Don't wish your life were easier. Don't wish that problem went away. Overcome it. Attack it head on. Look at it. Face it. That's what builds your character. It takes courage to do that. It takes courage to be successful. I used to hear somebody say, we used to say the quote, right? You've heard the saying, it takes money to make money. It doesn't take money to make money. It takes courage to make money. And for this reason, money is in abundance. Again, depends how you look at money. My belief system around money is in abundance. Money comes and goes, right? There's trillions of dollars all around the world that are just flowing endlessly. It's not hard to come by. Money follows ideas, right? So if money is an issue of yours, maybe you got to change how you think about money. Money flows very, very freely. So it doesn't necessarily take money to make money, but it takes courage to make money. It takes courage to become the person that you need to be in order to put yourself step out of your comfort zone, in order to ask people what you might need, in order to support people, in order to step into new conversations, in order to have new networks of people, in order to be able to share your vision, to sell someone on your vision, to inspire someone on where you're going. That takes courage. That doesn't take money. That just takes courage. And sometimes we're at a lack of courage. That's why we don't go do the things that we want to. But again, today is a reminder. It's a reminder that the way you get to the next level of consciousness, the way you can now solve some of the things that are the challenges in your life, is by you going through the obstacle, obstacle after obstacle. Again, read this sentence in here. It says, the world class builds their own roads and forges ahead, knowing the strength of character gained from overcoming obstacle after obstacle will be the measure of their true success. And with that rock solid character that you built by going through every obstacle, even greater things can be accomplished. That mindset, that sentence, that mindset, every time you start having challenges in your life, every time the enemy wants to come and remind you of all the stuff, every time you feel like you're less than, or you don't know if it's for you, or you're not cut out for, or whatever the enemy talks to you about, right? Because he talks to all of us differently, but he knows where to get us. Whatever he's talking to you about, you have to know that by you just overcoming all the obstacles, you are becoming the man or woman God called you to be. You are actually building your character. And who you become is what's more important than what you have or what you've made, right? It's who you're becoming. I used to give this to people that would go through the job opportunity, right? Like finding a new job, getting a new job. The question is not how much can they pay you? It's who are you becoming at this job? Like who are you becoming? Through the work you have to do, through what you have to see, through the time you have to spend, through your coworkers, through the environment, who will you become? I understand people like to be, in law enforcement, but who do you become? Who do you become in that position? That's what's important. And so understanding that by you going through all of the obstacles of your life, all of the challenges, whatever they are, if you have the right mindset about it, understanding that life is happening for you, not happening to you. Nothing is happening to you. Nothing is going to be wasted. The tests that God gives you, all of the things that you go through is for you to build the character needed to get to the life you want. You have to have that frame of reference. You have to reframe all of your challenges in life as that. And if you can do that, this is a mental thing, right? If you change your thinking, you change your life. I'm not telling you the obstacle will go away. I'm not even telling you the obstacle is going to be easy. It's going to be a challenge, but how you think about it. Life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you think about it, how you react to it, the story you tell yourself about it. So if your story now is, man, these obstacles come to bring me some more character. Thank you, God, for these obstacles. Thank you for these challenges. Man, I'm going to be so much better on the other side. I know that sounds like no one goes through their challenges that way. But what if you did? What if that was always like your default of when a challenge came, it was never even a problem. It's like, oh man, this is a blessing. I get a chance to now grow more character so I can go get closer to the life I want. All right, let's put on the armor. Let's go to work. Is that your mindset about obstacles? I'm gonna challenge all of you today on this Wednesday that we can shift. If it's not your mindset, that you start to adapt that mindset about obstacles and challenges. This quote up here says the block of granite, which was an obstacle in the path of the weak, becomes a stepping stone in the path of the strong. When you start looking at obstacles this way, the things that are challenges in your life, and you just keep looking at it and you keep overcoming it and you keep staring down the dragon, so to speak, the man or woman you are going to be after overcoming this in 6 months, in a year, in 18 months, you won't even know who you are. That's the process of becoming the highest, grandest expression of yourself. The action step for today says make a list of the three biggest obstacles you currently face. Next, determine the worst thing that could possibly happen if you decided to mount an all out assault to overcome them. Burn your boats. Burn your boats. If you say this relationship is important, burn your boat. There's no other way out. You just got to face it and we got to overcome the obstacle because why? It's going to build our character. So decide that you're going to have an all out assault to overcome them. If you can live with the worst case scenario, suspend your fear and attack your obstacle as if it's impossible to fail. If you succeed, your self confidence will soar. If you fail, you'll live to fight another day. That's what we're here to do, live to fight another day. Today is another opportunity. Don't waste it. We don't know how long we have left in our hourglass. We don't know how long we have left. So every day you are moving closer to that vision of your life, closer to the man or woman God called you to be every single day, one step at a time, just being intentional. Don't let, after we get off this call, don't let the world come and then just start distracting you and you don't start thinking about who you want to be or where you're going until you're about to go to bed tonight. Use this time throughout your day to get your mind in the right place. If you change your thinking, you change your life. I love you guys. I want you to win. You deserve it. Your families deserve it. If nobody tells you, I will constantly remind you, but you got to get up and do the work. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to really help you through this process. Outside of the seeds that I can plant here that I'm grateful that I get a chance to do, outside of that, nobody's coming to save you. You got to do this stuff yourself. It starts with you renewing your mind, you changing how you think. If you do that, you'll watch your life change. Go out, do something that scares you this Wednesday. I'll see you guys back here on Friday. Take care. Love you guys.